Once you've developed a greater awareness of what you're feeling, you want to be able to differentiate between different emotions and also be able to feel more positive emotions more often. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to help you master your emotions. Now, the metaphor I like to use in my mind is it's like having a filing cabinet in your brain, and each file that's in that cabinet is a different emotion. And on that file, that little sheet, it's got what your internal representation of that emotion is. And I'm going to explain to you how you get the features of that internal representation and translate it into something you can remember. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to kind of go into your brain, pick out the file and say, oh yeah, I want to feel confidence right now. Open the file. These are the things I need to remember it feels like. And then that kind of triggers that emotion. Okay, so imagine what that'd be like. You can kind of then have any emotion that you've put into your file at any point that you want. Okay, and I've just had a thought. One thing I may do is I might start building up like a little template of what emotions I think you should try and get in your filing cabinet first of all. But you can make that list for yourself based on what you want in terms of what you need for your outcome. So say you've identified that you need focus and determination and these other things, well then go and get those ones first. Or I'll create that little template so that I think, oh no, you need appreciation, then you need this, and you need that, and you can like fill out your cabinet. So how do you do that? Well, the first thing is you must build awareness of what positive emotional states feel like. So you've got to be able to catch yourself in the moment and go, oh, okay, now I'm feeling confidence, right? Now I'm feeling focus. And that's what the last skill was about. So we're building on. Then you can start to familiarize yourself with the characteristics of that feeling. So you've noticed in the moment, oh, I'm feeling confidence. Now you can do this one other way where you remember a time where you felt really confident and try and intensify it and then try and remember what the internal representation of that is. But that's much more difficult than doing it in the moment, catching yourself there and then going through this. So on your file, what you'll have is you'll have your emotion, and you can download the feeling features sheet to actually do this, but then it's just having it in the brain so you can turn it on whenever you want. You'll have the name at the top, and then you start to have characteristics of the emotion that you generate through like internal maps. So the first thing you can do is notice the location. And let me give you an example of how emotions definitely have a location. Whenever you love somebody or something, what happens? You put your hands over your heart. Or when you hold a baby, you clutch them to your heart. Because that is where you feel the emotion. You don't feel it in like your left knee. It's just not there. The intent, although an emotion, is every system in the body, there's certain emotions that have a certain intensity. And so this is the research that was done that shows you actually where people feel these different emotions based on the location with the intensity. But we can actually go way beyond that and get you an even more robust internal representation of this emotion, this feeling. So then there's the size, how big does it feel? The shape, the intensity, the color. Whoa. Color? Emotions can have color as well. Well, if I asked you, to remember the time you felt the most joy in your entire life and remember that feeling and intensify it, and I ask you, what color is it? If a color comes to mind, great. If it doesn't, let me ask you, is it the color black? Now, no one I've ever asked that question to has said, yes, it's black. They also say, no, it's not black. So if it's not black, you must know that it is some essence of a color. So there is a way to get to it. And all you're doing is you're creating this representation so it's easier to remember. So for me, confidence feels like this like yellow. It's almost like a fire that goes from like a yellow at the bottom in my stomach all the way up to my shoulders. There's like dark orange. So it's like a fire where it's yellow on the inside and red and orange on the outside. And it goes up in this like intensity. So I have that color. Like amusement for me feels like this blue like circle in the middle of my chest. Happiness is this like powdered blue. Now it's all just what could characterize that emotion best for me, but now it allows me to get back to that emotion and feel that whenever I want, because I'm no longer subject to the emotion. I'm starting to objectify it, which, like we've talked about, is the essence of all development. So then you can think about the temperature, the sound, the movement in the body. So sound, you could go, ah. So that's a sound, but it's also a movement in the body. You can almost feel it going down. So that's like relief. That's what most people feel in terms of relief. So for most people in the world, there's some cultural norms with these things. Relief goes down the body and it's a drop in sound. Whereas excitement moves up the body and it's actually a increase in sound, like yes, there's a lift to it. Okay, so there's actual cultural norms to this as well. Now, we don't have enough data on this to make a really intense database, but this is one of my future goals in order to be able to do this. There's also movement off the body. Is it can actually start to radiate and go further. It doesn't have to just stay within your body. So my self-appreciation almost feels like the shape comes out a little bit, and the confidence one definitely feels it's like there's almost this aura that's like 10 feet around me. What's the vibration? Is there a pressure to it? Is there a weight to it? A duration? And are there any special features? So do you have a big cheesy grin when you're feeling amusement or something like this? Do you focus in a certain way? Do you focus on a particular aspect? What's your breathing like when you do it? So this is all ways just for you to be able to objectify the emotion, to create that internal map, that representation, so you can use the feeling features thing to list it out. So you notice in the moment you're feeling confidence, and you actually write down, think, okay, well, where's the location? What's the size, the shape? And you don't have to get all of them by any means. Most of the time people won't be able to get all of them, but you just start to get a few, and that makes it easier to feel it again, and then you can try again and get more features. And it makes it something that you can actually have tangible. So then you can go to your filing cabinet in your brain and just kind of pull it out and say, oh, now I'm going to feel confidence. And then I'll show you how we actually build that into your daily practices, so you get to experience these on a consistent basis and shift yourself towards the positive side of the spectrum. So you live your life more on that side. So you have complete mastery over your emotions, and you can get into the emotional states you need in order to create the life you want. Because really, this is the single most important thing you can learn, because there's only 3 things you can control in life: what you do, what you think about, and what you feel. And what you feel affects what you think and do anyway. So if you get this, you're unstoppable. And your feelings, as we've discussed, are the basis of your emotions. They construct yourself. So by being able to do this, you're constructing this positive, conscious, well-being. It changes your ability to create whatever you want in life in terms of who you are, and what you are becoming, and creating the life you want. So it's so important. So use the worksheet, build up that repertoire of emotions, and get those distinct things so that you can feel them. And I'll show you how you build it into a daily practice.